The buyer's remorse amongst Trump's voters is very real. And I'm out of sympathy. But it's not just my opinion that the buyer's remorse is out there. It's not just a few people on social media talking about buyer's remorse. It is literally the latest round of polling that we have received that shows that even the people who voted for Donald Trump do not want his policies. According to two new national surveys that were written up in the Bulwark, one of them was the Network Exit Poll and the other was a VoteCast survey. Here's what they found. 70% of voters believed the country was heading in the wrong direction. Among that 70%, 2/3 voted for Trump. 40% of voters said Kamala Harris had been tested and delivered negative results, compared to only 35% who said she had been tested and delivered positive results. For Trump, the balance was reversed. 49% said he had delivered positive results, compared to 45% who said he had delivered negative results. All right, so that explains the voting, right? Oh, Harris did horrible things. Nope, she didn't. But okay, if you believe that, that's what you believed. It's too late to change it because you already voted. Trump did great things. Really? Like, this is what, and by the way, this is what I've been telling y'all for years and years and years. Voters have the attention span that's about equivalent to the life expectancy of a fruit fly. Okay? They always look back and think, well, things weren't that bad. Even if it's just 6 months ago, well, things weren't that bad. And that's what happened here. That is absolutely what happened, and that is what this poll proves to us. And here's where it gets down to the nitty-gritty. When VoteCast asked about increasing taxes on goods imported to the U.S. from other countries, voters split almost evenly, 49% in favor, 50% against. Polls taken since the election, because that was prior to the election, suggest that the political balance might tip slightly in Trump's favor when the word tariffs is used instead of taxes, but the balance tips against Trump when the tariffs are substantial. In general, the numbers indicate that if the public feels the cost of tariffs, sentiment will turn against them. More than 60% of voters believe abortion should be legal in all or most cases. What is this? Sorry. 57% said the government needs to be even more involved in, quote, ensuring that Americans have health care coverage. Trump and his party will also face blowback if their proposed Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., messes with vaccines. In the VoteCast survey, only 22% of voters said they wanted the government to be less involved in ensuring that children are vaccinated for childhood diseases. 50% said they wanted the government to do more, and another 26% favored the government's current level of involvement. 54% of voters believe Trump's views are too extreme, and nearly 60% are at least somewhat concerned about that. And the VoteCast survey showed 45% of voters were concerned he would bring the U.S. closer to authoritarianism, while another 10% were at least somewhat concerned about that, bringing it to a 55% majority. They don't want his tariffs. They don't want him to kill Obamacare. They don't want Robert F. Kennedy Jr. anywhere near the government. They don't want the abortion bans. They don't want authoritarianism, but we voted for him anyway. When I tell you I've run out of sympathy for these folks, this is what I'm talking about, okay? You can't say that you want this guy, but you don't want any of the things the guy promised to do or, was suggested to do, like the authoritarianism. He didn't promise to be an authoritarian, other than on day one, of course. But the other things, he told you flat out what he was going to do. He just didn't explain to you how it was going to screw you over. You had to go and look that up yourselves, but y'all didn't want to spend 90 seconds doing a quick Google search and learning about that. That's all it would have taken. Maybe you could spend a little more time, maybe 5 minutes out of your day. For the last year, 5 minutes out of one day to learn these things, but you didn't. Instead, you put on your rose-colored glasses and you looked at the past and you thought, well, it wasn't all that bad. It wasn't all Capitol riots and COVID. We did have what? What out of that first administration makes you look back on it and say, you know what? That was actually good. The answer is nothing. But nobody ever pressed y'all on that. Nobody. That's the fault of the press. That's the fault of the media. I sat here every single day for 4 years reminding you of how horrible it was. But you didn't listen. You wanted Trump, you just don't want his policies, but you can't separate the two. You get the one, you get the other part. And we're just going to have to sit back and you're going to have to listen to us say for the next 4 years, we told you so. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.